At this point, the best thing would be to sit down, grab some popcorn, and watch the madness unfold in real time, because if you're serious about which side you are in on the current golf wars, you're in for some severe stress. For now though, wake up golf fans, a new suggestion to solve things just dropped: more fighting. So let's see what it's all about, and will it even work? First up, Davis Love III has some ideas. Love ain't choosing love anytime soon. The 58-year-old Davis Milton Love III, yes, that's his name, what about it, recently exploded, and he was not low-key about his hate, or if that's too strong of a word, his thorough dislike for the LIV Golf and what it has done to the sport. He's this year's US captain for the President's Cup, by the way, so what he has to say is kind of important. Would you take a look at this man put forward as the best way to clear up the mess that Greg Norman and his league have made? He thinks that the PGAers should boycott a major championship, so all the guys on the tour, all the veterans, all the champions unite and refuse to play in a major if the LIV players are also allowed to participate. Basically, if they try and secure a chair on the table, flip the hell out of the table itself. As the famous saying goes, if you have the means, don't build a wall, build a gigantic table instead, so that you can flip and turn it into a wall when the time calls for it. We're not biased, to be clear. In the spirit of true reporting, we're just having fun with it indifferently and analyzing the fire that's consuming something people love and care for. But what's the reason for it? Like, what's this potential strike supposed to achieve? The answer is a permanent ban on the LIV players. And we know you've heard about them getting bans and sanctions, but take the PGA Tour for example. They've only suspended them indefinitely. Love wants them to be banned forever, and for sure. This will also send a definite message to any other guys who are thinking about defecting, which is the #1 priority right now. Surely it can't be that easy, right? Right, it isn't, because there could be courts involved. In fact, there will be lawsuits. If you ask Love though, he'll say drastic times call for drastic measures. He thinks even if the court rules in favor of LIV players, saying they should be allowed to play the majors, they still boycott them. To sum it all up, he thinks it's the players who are the foot soldiers of this war, and they make the tour what it is. So if they don't want to play alongside the livers, then they should go on strike. In other words, want to play in the US Open? Well, there isn't a US Open anymore. Good day. So does he have a point? Okay, now let's see if Love's loathe for the LIV could bring some real changes. To be fair to him, it kinda could. Fight chaos with more chaos, and you could potentially get your way. Also, if you're with the PGA on this, as most top players are too, then you also probably think that this feud has gone on far too long. Maybe he just said the quiet part out loud because we know how strong the true PGA players feel about this situation. So if really given a call, they could very well unite and boycott a major championship, and that could surely drive the LIV away. But wait just a minute, it isn't as easy peasy as that, mostly because we don't know how many players might still join the LIV, because don't forget, the money over there is huge, and those who've already joined did so despite knowing if they'd face sanctions and backlash. And if Love's correct and players do really make the rules, then who says the new rule can't be dollar bills, drop some money, all this bread so yummy? So while a strike could cause some serious stir, a more feasible solution could probably be figured out with some discussions and some meetings between the two sides, as some players such as Rory McIlroy are also now inclining towards. And McIlroy's as pure a PGA as we've ever seen, so he means well, but why speak out now? Love has been a LIV opposer for a long time, but why did he say all these things now all of a sudden? He'd remained fairly silent up until now. The answer, folks, is that the President's Cup is now more vulnerable than it's ever been. We've already seen the Ryder Cup sabotage in the firm of Henrik Stenson defecting to LIV and sacrificing his captaincy for it. Love's currently in the process of trying to put together his president's team because if you were paying attention, he's the captain. You should understand where his anger is coming from because there's so much uncertainty. Imagine having to pick a team and you know any member could bail out at any time. Yeah, you'd lose your cool too. Davis Milton Love? Or like Davis Patience friggin' Melton Love. He still tried to do his best to make sure who'll stay, but his players are out here lying to him, which he says he understands because why would somebody be like, yeah bro, I'm soon about to accept a lot of money and I can't be on your team. Just a heads up, love ya. But this is all recent stuff. Love revealed he was trying to convince players to stay away from Norman's league way back when it was just popping up. And the first person he tried to talk to about it was none other than Phil Mickelson. And we all know how that turned out. Still, Love, and honestly many others thought Phil would be the only one stupid enough to give it all up for a hefty pay. Now if you keep really silent and listen closely, you'll hear Morgan Freeman going, he was not the only one. Say whatever you will about Norman, but he did surprise everyone with how much he's expanded the LIV League. Or maybe it isn't him. It's that cold hard cash that's convincing them to join the league financially, backed by some scary mother truckers with a horrible human rights record. Get the reference? Don't worry. If not, Phil gets it. Love's sure about it being greed, and he's done with it. Now, let's recap the differences. Since we're inclusive over here, you don't have to worry if you live under a rock. We got you. What the activists and a lot of fans have against the LIV Golf is the source of its money, the Saudi government. Why? Because they're not really that nice and have a record of sending people to God's theater, so not very nice at all. But on the inside of the golf scene, that isn't the major issue. At least those who care about the game and its legacy are worried that Norman tournament is running what golf has been for decades, a classy game where hard work and long hours, where what you get glory and what made your money. With LIV, that's changing. Everyone gets huge payout without the same hard work because, as Tiger Woods put it, there isn't really an incentive for practice. So more money for less golf. Sounds great for the players, but not so great for the sport itself. Also, it's damaging golf in other ways. For example, as Love also talked about before, the viewers tuned in to see the rivalries between different championships, and now it's just LIV versus PGA everywhere. On the other side, you'll hear a completely different story. They're doing it to expand viewership and give players more opportunities. If you're a golf fan, let the final judgment be yours, because what's popular wins, and it's fans who make stuff popular. Now, for some other golf news. First, Tiger Woods is not playing around. Ladies and gents, who in this world would ever say no to $700 to $800 million? Right? Wrong. Tiger Woods would. He did. The CEO of LIV, Greg Norman, confirmed on Tucker Carlson's show that Tiger was indeed offered close to that amount to join the Saudi-backed league, and the man said no to it. So yeah, he isn't bluffing when he says the PGA means a lot to him, and he doesn't agree with those who've left. Find yourself someone who's as loyal to you as Woods as he is to the PGA, and the key word here is the PGA. And the 9/11 tension is rising. The families of 9/11 victims, in fact, some of the victims themselves who are now disabled, are speaking up about their anger at LIV Golf. LIV's league's third event was recently held at Trump's golf course in New Jersey, and people gathered outside to protest, saying it's shameful that these players joined the league. Before this, there were protesters outside the Portland event too. Lastly, Donald Trump. If there wasn't enough conflict there as it is, now a political side of the LIV versus PGA's also cooking up, thanks to former president's presence. Henrik Stenson displayed an amazing performance and dominated the third LIV event, but the news, of course, was Trump. He was welcomed with a cheer, people wore shirts with slogans, and another politician also turned up. There you go, now we've got our politics on our hands too. And that's a wrap for this video. See you in the next one.